Welcome to What Are Your Biggest Controller CFO Challenges, a roundtable panel discussion brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And first, let's take a look at the agenda. We'll introduce our expert panelists and some brief information about our sponsor. And then we'll get right to our questions for the panel, questions and discussion. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. We'll have a Q&A from the audience, of course, so please use the GoToWebinar control panel to ask questions early. We'll get to as many as possible within the hour. And another housekeeping, you will receive a link to this webcast 24 hours from now, so no need to take notes or screenshots. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panelists. Irwin Jacobson is Chief Financial Officer, CFO of Blue Digital Group in Burbank, California, with over 30 years experience and primarily in the entertainment industry. Check out some of these logos on his LinkedIn profile: Deluxe Entertainment, Warner Brothers, Technicolor, Sony Pictures. Irwin is a former Deloitte and Touche, so that was a while ago, before they were just Deloitte, and CPA in both Washington and California, and Irwin currently resides in Bell Canyon, California. Welcome, Irwin. Lauren Bahr is Vice President of Finance of Occupier, based in New York City. Occupier raised Series A funding just last year. And Lauren played on the women's ice hockey team at Providence College, where she earned a bachelor's in accounting. She's a former PwC with a CPA in New York, and Lauren currently resides in St. Louis. And last but not least, Rajiv Saraf is Corporate Controller for Ambarella, a semiconductor company based in Santa Clara, California. Rajiv is both a CPA and a chartered accountant with over 20 years experience. Prior roles included Director of Technical Accounting and Reporting and Assistant Controller for SunPower Corporation, and a public accounting career at PwC in both the US and Asia, and Deloitte. Rajiv resides in Union City, California. Welcome, Irwin, Lauren, and Rajiv.
Thank you for having us.
Quick word about our sponsor. Oracle NetSuite is a cloud-based business management platform used by more than 33,000 organizations across the globe. NetSuite seamlessly integrates financial planning, accounts receivable, accounts payable, revenue recognition, tax management, and other core accounting functions with real-time financial visibility to improve financial performance. To learn more, visit netsuite.com and request a free product tour. So with that, I'd like to get right to our panel. And let's just start with you, Irwin, and tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, your department, and that you supervise.
Great, Neil, thank you so much, and welcome everyone. As Neil mentioned in my little brief bio, I'm a CPA in California. I live in the suburb of Los Angeles, and I have been working in the entertainment industry most of my career after public accounting. Our company, where I'm at today, Blue Digital Group, is a media content management and distribution company. So in layman's terms, we take movies and television shows that are already produced, and we basically work from that starting point of a completed piece of content to the end point of distribution. And we handle everything in between. So for example, let's say you want to watch the latest Marvel movie on Disney+. So Disney comes to us and they say, hey, Blue, we want you to take our movie and we want you to translate it into 14 languages, and we want you to put subtitling subtitles on it for 50 different languages, and we want it configured for a Disney Plus distribution. And we also want it configured so that people can view it on their iPhone or on their iPad or on their Samsung. We do all of those things, manipulating that data and content in order to make it and distribute it to those endpoints. It's pretty exciting. It's kind of fun. I've always said that accounting is accounting. Debits are always on the left, credits are always on the right, but actually doing the accounting for the entertainment industry makes it that much more exciting and interesting for me. I've had certainly a lot of experiences over the years working in the studio system and being on sets with Steven Spielberg and having conversations with stars and producers. It's just a little extra bonus besides being a nerdy accountant. So I really enjoy being in California and love what I do. In terms of my staff today, we're a smaller growing company. So I've worked for very large companies in the past, and a couple of years ago decided to take a different path and go with more of a startup with some equity and build into help build the company into a powerhouse that will compete with those other companies I've worked with before and companies that and servicing those companies where I've worked as well. So I have a smaller company. We're growing. Smaller finance team. I've got some folks working for me in Los Angeles, and then strategically placed around the world as well, now that we are acquiring companies overseas. That's pretty much me.
Excellent. Lauren, how about yourself?
So unlike Irwin, I don't usually see Brad Pitt on a daily basis of my job, unfortunately. But I definitely resonated with what you said, that the debits are always on the left, credits are always on the right, because that's what drew me to accounting initially, that everything had to balance, every action had a corresponding reaction, everything was just so simple, right? And then you got out in the real world and you're like, wait, none of this, all of this is gray. So I started my career at PwC in the audit practice, then transitioned into a consulting role to help companies with their technical accounting or streamlining their financial operations. And I found very, very early on in my career that I enjoyed working for early stage companies that were experiencing high growth spurts and really have made a career working at those types of companies. Fast forward to today, I work at Occupier. I'm the VP of Finance here, and Occupier is a lease management software tool helping companies with site selection to lease administration to, of course, lease accounting. And so we're staying pretty busy right now helping companies transition to the new lease accounting standard, ASC 842. So my finance team right now is a little bit of a lonely island. I leverage outsourced accounting to help me with my month-end close. And then I also work with a handful of softwares to really amplify my role on the finance side.
Neat. Rajiv, how about yourself?
Thanks, Neil. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on which part of the world you are in. I think, Neil, you arranged this thing, right in the order, from interesting to the most boring one. So, so I think my profile people will find the most boring one, relatively speaking. But, quickly going through my background, I grew up in India, started my career there in accounting with PwC, similar to Lauren in accounting and core audit. And that's where I stayed most of my life. In public accounting, I realized that it kind of just happened organically. I started working on clients internationally, so it was kind of natural for me to move overseas. So I moved to within Asia, first to Singapore for a few years, and then I moved to US. Good part of working in these multinational Big Four accounting firms is you have a lot of opportunities to move around. They have offices in pretty much practically every city in the world. So, I was fortunate to kind of have those moves with PwC and Deloitte, India, Singapore, and US before I decided to make a jump to on the other side. So I started working outside of public accounting about 4 years ago. I work at Ambarella right now. Ambarella is in technology space. I'm based out of Bay Area, so no surprise. They are a semiconductor company, so we design and develop low-powered semiconductor devices primarily for the camera and security market. There is it's an interesting space right now to be in a camera, computer vision and human viewing market with the advent of automated driving and driver assisted driving. So that's something that together with AI is something that that the company is doing in the space of ADAS, what we call advanced assisted driving systems. In terms of my role, I'm the corporate controller, so I head the accounting function here. So all the accounting operations, financial reporting, SOX, technical accounting, global accounting operations, everything rolls into me. So that's my role. I think you're